Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. So in this video, we are talking about the Google Cloud Certified Google Cloud Security Engineer exams questions. So in this video, there are 30 questions of the topic GCP Google Cloud Security Engineer. So guys, like and share this channel for the amazing upcoming exams questions related to GCP, Azure and AWS. So we are moving towards the questions and their answer and their relevant explanation. Question number one. Your team is tasked with mitigating any content related security threats to a new application. Which of the following actions will help you to achieve this objective? And these are the options. And the right option is D. Utilize Cloud Natural Language API to scan for and redact sensitive textual data from your files and incoming content. So these are the exploration of this option. Okay, let ahead to next question. You have been asked to manage the permissions at an granular level assigned to Google Commute Engine instance in your GCP organization. Following Google's best practice, which of the following is recommended? So these are the options. And right option answer is create custom service account for VMs and use IAM roles to grant permissions as needed. And these are the explanation for the right answer. Moving towards the next question. You are the part of the security team in an advertising company that want to migrate its workload to Google Cloud. The company has an on-premises Active Directory that it intends to manage its users and groups. Which of the following can be used to grant its users and groups access to Google Cloud resources? And the right answer is first option, federating its Active Directory with Cloud Identity. And the explanation of the right answer is the Cloud Identity or Google Workspace account is the highest container for users, groups, and configurations and data. It can be work with any domain name that you own, and you can receive any emails to use an existing web and email resources. So you also can visit the following URL. So moving towards the next question, you are the part of the security team in your company that is responsible for securing data in the cloud. The company uses the cloud storage to store objects. Which of the following is true managing access to the cloud storage bucket? And the right answer is A option. The IAM permissions can be used to grant access to cloud storage at the project and bucket levels. And these are the explanation for this. Okay, so moving towards question number 5. So you are a part of the security team in your company that is responsible for securing data in the cloud. The company wants to utilize the cloud storage to store the objects. You have been asked to ensure the object level permissions can be managed. How can this be achieved? And the right answer is C. Set the access control option as fine-grained to allow you to manage the permissions using IAM and ACLS. And the explanation is okay. So next question. You have been asked to conduct the development VPCs into two organizations so that the traffic flowing between the two VPS is never exposed to the public internet. So how can this be achieved? And the right answer is create a VPC network pairing between the VPS. And the explanation is so question number 7. AVPCS has different application running on the computer engine instance. So you have been asked to create a firewall rule. So you will accept the HTTP traffic from the internet to some instance. So how can this be achieved? And the right answer is apply a tag the set of instance to receive internet traffic and create an ingress firewall rule with the target as a specified target tags and the source IP range as a 0.0.0.0 slash 0. And the explanation is next question is a financial institution want to store its assets in the Google Cloud storage. There is a legal requirement for the institutions to manage its encryption key outside of the cloud. Which of the following meets the requirement? And the right answer is B option. Upload the objects to cloud storage using a GS util and specify the customer supplied encryption key. And here's the explanation of the right answer is. And the next question is an e-commerce company want to store its data in the Google Cloud Storage. Data encryption is a store core requirement. So the company would like to manage the life cycle of the encryption keys with a minimal overhead. Which of the following meets the requirement? And the right answer is customer manage encryption keys. And here's the explanation. And the next question is a company wants to hold backup files to the Google Cloud. They require a service that allows the data storage to be moved to a cheaper storage tier after the specified time. And which of the following meets the requirement? And here's all the options to be selected. Only one. And the right answer is store the data on the cloud storage. And here's the explanation for that. So question number 11. A development team has built a new application to run an app engine. So you have been asked to scan the new application for vulnerabilities. The result should be displayed in centralized dashboard for analysis and action. So how can this be achieved? And here are all the options. The right answer is scan the application using the Web Security Scanner and displays the result on the Security Command Center. The next question is you need to show that the infrastructure on which your application are deployed on Google Cloud meet regulatory standards such as HIB, HIP AA, how would you be prove this? So the right answer is download the compliance certificate needed from the security compliance site. The next question is, as a security engineer of your company, you are responsible for managing IAM permissions for users, groups, and secure service accounts. So which of the following is not a cloud IAM object? The right answer is container. And here are the explanation. So you can define an IAM policy at any level, the organization level, the folder level, and the project level, or the resource level. The container is not an IAM object. So the next question is, a large organization currently manages its users with an on-premises Active Directory. They intend to synchronize the users from the AD to cloud identity. Which of the following services can be used to fulfill the requirement? And here are the options. So the right answer is Google Cloud Directory Sync. The next question is, your organization has decided to use a Google Workspace to manage users and groups. The organization has its own domain name. Which of the following is true for use the Google Workspace? And the right answer is Google Workspace can work with any domain that can receive emails. The explanation for that, the both products use the same set of APIs and administrative tools and share the uh, idea of an account as a container. Domain name recognize that container. The next question is, you work for the financial organization as a security engineer and you have been tasked with designing a storage strategy for stored cardholders' data that ensures that they are deleted after a specified time. Following Google's shared responsibility model, which of the following is the responsibility of your organization? And the right answer is implement appropriate the storage lifecycle policies. And here are the explanation. Ensuring the data is stored for only as is permitted by law in your organization responsibility. The next question is, your company has resources in Google Cloud, VPC, and on-premises. A new requirement specifies that the communication between the cloud and the on-premises network be encrypted. Which of the following is meet the requirement? And the right answer is connect both networks using the Cloud VPN. And here are the explanation. The Cloud VPN securely links your peer network to your VPC network through as IPsec VPN connection. Traffic traveling between the two networks is encrypted by an VPN gateway and then decrypted by the other. The Google VPC uses encrypted tunnels to connect the both networks. And the next question is, your company has decided to deploy its containerized application on the Google Kubernetes engines (GKE). A key security requirement is to limit port-to-port communication. So how can you achieve that? The right answer is use network policy to control inter-port communication. The connection, and here are the explanation. The connection created between the cloud interconnect and the on-premises network is not encrypted. Traffic traveling between the two networks is encrypted by one VPN gateway and then decrypted by the other. The cloud VPN uses an encrypted tunnel to connect the both networks. The next question is, your company has decided to deploy its containerized application on Google Kubernetes engine. As a security engineer, you are required to design the security control for the application following the Google shared responsibility model. So, which is your company's responsibility? The right answer is enroll clusters to auto upgrade default or auto or upgrade cluster to support version rights. So the explanation is the customer responsibility is to enroll the cluster in the auto upgrade or upgrade it manually. Protecting the workloads in GKE involves many layers of the stack, including the content of your container images and container runtimes and a cluster network and the access to the cluster API server. The next question is, your company wants to deploy its application to Google Cloud. A key security requirement is to have access to the root operating system of the commuter requirement. So, which of the following environments does not allow you to fulfill this requirement? And the right answer is Google Cloud Functions. And the explanation is that you do not have access to the root operating system of the cloud function. So Google scan images to find potential vulnerabilities and missing pages. So the container optimized OS team evaluates then resolves the issues. So the question number 21, you are the part of security team for the application deployed on the Google Kubernetes engine. So your team has implemented identity aware policy IAP for authentication to the application uh, following Google's best practice. So which of the following is not a best practice using the IAP? And the right answer is use a third-party cache in front of the application.write, and the explanation is that the best practice suggests not using the CDN in front of the application because it can serve a content to the unauthenticated users. The next question is, you work for the financial institutions as a security engine. The company has a new web-facing application deployed on managed instance group behind an HTTPS load balancer. So you want to ensure that the connection negotiated between the clients and the load balancer meets the strictest compliance requirement with minimal overhead. Which SSL policy should you use on the load balancer? And the right answer is configure the load balancer to use a restricted policy. And the explanation is that the restricted policy support a reduced set of SSL feature intended to meet the sticker compliance requirement, and this is the best option to configure the load balancer of the SL policy. The next question is, as a security engine in your organization, you notice that developers are using the personal emails to create Google projects and work with the sensitive data. So you have been asked to design a more centralized and secure way to managing the access to GCP. So which of the following is the solve the problem? The right answer is set up the cloud identity for your organizations required the developer to use their account for work purpose. And the explanation is that the cloud identity and the Google Workspace are decentralized way of managing access to GCP resources, and it's allowed for regrouping the user and assigning the IAM permissions centrally. The next question is, the testing team wants to grant access to their application running on the Kubernetes engine to try to the specified buckets only. So following the Google best practice, which of the following is recommended? The right answer is create a service account for the application and grant the cloud storage object creator permissions at the bucket level. So explanation is that the services like Google Commute, Kubernetes engines, and use the service account to make API calls in GCP. Also assigning the object creator permissions at the bucket level follows the principle of at least privileges. The next question is you are a part of the security team in your company that wants to grant temporary access to an auditor to files in the cloud storage bucket in your Google Cloud project. The auditor does not have a Google account. So which of the following is a Google recommended permissions or practice to grant the auditor access? The right answer is create a signed URL and share it with the auditor. Here are the explanation. The next question is your team has decided to use a default VPC network to deploy its application to Google Commute Engine. So you have been asked to ensure that there is no outbound traffic to the internet. So which solution should you use to meet its requirement? And the right answer is create a deny rule for ingress traffic with a priority of 1000 and the destination IP set to 0.0.0.0. So here the explanation is that the firewall rules are associated and applied in to VM instance through a rule targets parameters by viewing all the application like viewing all the applied rules so you can check whether a particular rule is being applied to an interface. The these creates a rule that denies the traffic from reaching the internet from the VPC network. The next question is your company has a custom VPC network with application running the computer engine instance as security. You need to collect a sample of the network flows sent to and received by VM instance and sent to third plus party SIEM tool in real time. So which of the following achieves this? So the right answer is configure the VPC flow logs at the VPC level and export the logs from the cloud logging to POP and SOAP. So the explanation is that flow rules are enabled at the VPC level and for the logs to be analyzed so we can export them from cloud logging to pub and sub for use by third-party applications. So VPC flow logs in the future that enable you to capture the information about the IP traffic going to or from the network interface in your VPC. The next question is your company has three VPC projects, the service, dev, and test. So you have been created the subnets in the service project. So would like the dev and test project to deploy their commute engine instance into these subnets. So how what can you do to achieve this? Make the service VPC a shared VPC and share its subnets with the other projects. V is equal to V right. So explanation is that VPC flow logs is a feature that enables you to capture the information about the IP traffic going to and from the network interface in your VPC. Share VPC allow you to and create and share the subnets with other projects in the same organization. So next question is you are a part of the security team for a new application deployed on the Google App Engine. So your team need to implement a central authorization layers for the application at the application layer. So which solution should you use to meet the requirement? And the explanation is Use the identity-aware policy to enforce the access policy for application and resources. So the explanation is that IAP lets you create a centralized authorization layers opened by HTTPS, so you can use an application level access control model despite of relying on the network level firewall. So next question is, your company has a custom VPC network with the two subnets and security requirements specify that all the computer engines instance in the dev subnet should not have central external IPS. So you need to give those instance level to cloud storage without traffic going over the internet. So what can you do to achieve this? So right answer is permit the private Google access to on the dev subnets. So explanation is that the private Google access is allowed at the subnet level, so they can so they can go to the external address of the Google APIs service, and they do not need any special configuration to send requests to the external IP addresses of the Google API and the services. So yeah, so guys, thank you for joining us in today's video, and I'm looking forward a great and the new upcoming videos related to GCP, AWS, and Azure. Thank you.